Okay, good evening and welcome to the second public information meeting for the district's Lagoon 2 Perimeter Berm Flood Resilience Maintenance Project. Before we begin, there are a few housekeeping rules we kindly request that everyone follow to help us maintain a productive and orderly meeting. Please enter your first and last name in the participant panel if you haven't already done so. All participant microphones should be muted for tonight's meeting. During the Q&A portion of the meeting, you will be able to unmute your mics and ask questions. We ask that you please raise your hand and you'll be called upon to speak. As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded and will be available on the district website by the end of the week. That's May 1st. With that, let's have a great meeting and thank you for attending. Now, Theron and Arlen, you can take it over.
Thank you, Amy. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Theron Jacobson with the district. I am the project engineer on this project, and I'll let Arlen introduce himself.
Yep, Arlen Striegel, work for WSP, and I'm the project director for our team.
So why we are here today. So in 2018, we had a historic flood event in the Dane County area that dropped over 10 inches of rain, depending on regionally, 11 inches to 13 inches. The image to the right there is Nine Springs Creek along the south perimeter berm of Lagoon 2, the most easterly lagoon on the district's property. And ultimately, that berm almost crested, which sparked an investigation. As you can see, district staff conversating there on the left to engage this project ultimately. So through many years of planning and design, we're at the execution stage of construction. So ultimately today we will go over about the district, the lagoon background, project overview, the phase 1 construction components, phase 2 construction, which is a future project, and then how you can get project updates, and then we will take questions at the end. So the district, we are the regional wastewater utility for the greater Madison area. We were established in 1930. We serve over 440,000 individuals and businesses in the Madison area, encompassing 190 square miles. We own and operate 151 miles of pipe, and we treat 38 million gallons of untreated wastewater a day at the plant. I'm going to hand it over to Arlen for the lagoon background.
All right, thanks, Theron. So this maintenance project is located on the Nine Springs Wastewater Treatment Plant campus. It's on the lagoon side, so east of the treatment plant. And it's focused on Lagoon 2, which is the eastern half of that lagoon complex within the district's wildlife observation area, as you can see on the map here, highlighted on the kind of the right side, Lagoon 2. Historically, the lagoons functioned as biosolids storage for the Nine Springs wastewater treatment plant, but this function was decommissioned in the mid-1990s, and it was reconstructed between 1999 and 2001. Since that point in time, the facility now functions in a kind of a different capacity. Primarily, we've got shorebird habitat managed on the Lagoon 1 side, so it'd be the west side. Serves as a public wildlife viewing and low impact recreation area. And then it also serves a very important function for the district for managing managing storage of treated effluent from the wastewater treatment plant kind of on an as needed basis. So the project overview here. So really when it rains a lot in the area, we've got water coming in from the watershed upstream of the facility here. We've got it coming down Nine Springs Creek, and then you've also got water backing up within the Yahara River chain of lakes. And these two factors lead to elevated water levels in Nine Springs Creek adjacent to this lagoon complex. And the perimeter berm that surrounds this complex is at an elevation that is at risk of overtopping under these kind of extreme flooding events like Theron described from 2018. So the purpose of the project here is to increase that elevation of the berm around Lagoon 2 and ultimately to decrease the flooding risk. And then also to, at the same time, maintain that long-term habitat for the wildlife, maintenance access for the district to, deal with their requirements for site maintenance and allow continued safe public use of the area. So the existing perimeter berm around Lagoon 2 is relatively low in comparison to Lagoon 1, and that's the area that's at greater risk of overtopping from floodwaters from Nine Springs Creek. So the lowest berm elevations occur along the south berm that's highlighted here in orange on this image, and that's the area that we're going to be focusing on for phase one construction that we'll pivot to here next. But we did consider several alternative designs to raise that perimeter berm and ultimately selected the preferred alternatives based upon ground conditions and existing topography on the site, and led to two different solutions, phase one and phase two. Phase one shown in the orange here on that south berm, and then phase two shown in the cyan line going around kind of the rest of the perimeter of Lagoon 2. And we'll pass it on to Theron then to talk about the phase one construction.
Thank you. Phase one construction. So initial will be contractor will mobilize in with their equipment, set up perimeter control along the work zone and establish signage for construction traffic and then pedestrian traffic. And the initial activities that'll occur is some tree removal and brush clearing. So there's the one tree in the upper right that will be removed at ground surface and disposed of. And then any vegetative habitat that'll impede on the construction zone, as you can see in the upper left, will just be trimmed back. That's very similar to any of the trimming the district's maintenance staff already does on site at intermediate times. And ultimately, the end product will be the vinyl sheet pile wall that will be along the southern perimeter of the south berm of Lagoon 2. We'll be installing just under 2,200 feet of sheet pile wall that will be exposed above the ground anywhere from 2 to 2.5 feet, with a cap for a finishing product and improved safety. And always at the end, you revegetate your surfaces to make them green again. So phase one construction access will come off of Raywood Road, Moreland Avenue intersection area by our Metro Grow facility, as you can see in the lower left, where we got construction access through the gates. And the contractor access will be around the exterior perimeter berm of Lagoon 1 and 2. And their work zone is in the red area on the southern berm of Lagoon 2. That's where primarily all the work is. They just need access to get from road to the edge of their construction limits. So there will be, I'll call it multi-use traffic in the area for pedestrians, bird watchers, and construction traffic. So just everyone needs to be aware and conscious of our surroundings. The contractor will use a laydown yard that is over by our Metro Grow facility, but within the fence limits of the Lagoon area and the southwest corner of Lagoon 1. And trail detours and closures. So contractor will access off of Raywood Road by where we got the Capital City Trail crossing. There's no impacts to the bike trail except additional signage will be out there for our traffic, alerting them of the crossing. And then I just highlighting the public pedestrian access off of Moreland Road in the south, and then the observation deck just for geographical representation here. And ultimately recalling the work zone, so that we're asking to prohibit pedestrian access in that area for safety for everyone. And then we are going to install snow fence as perimeter barriers around the interior berms of Lagoon 2 and then at the end points of the work zone. I want to highlight the southwest area of Lagoon 2. Our goal is to allow pedestrian access around that area so they can circle Lagoon 1, but there will be times when we do need to close that off for a short period of time, days or maybe a week when work is focused in that area. It'll just be safer for everyone. And otherwise, we're doing our best to keep Lagoon 1 access all around at all times. So the earliest construction start for phase 1 is May 11th. And our goal there was to avoid the peak migratory bird season and then the nesting season. Our construction duration is anticipated to take roughly around 14 weeks, so we're pushing this completion into September, early October, but we're hoping to be done sooner, but Mother Nature does like to impact construction sites, and this will be one of those also if we do get a wet season. But we will provide updates throughout construction on the website, which we'll detail later. And I'm going to hand this off to Arlen to take it home from here.
All right, so once phase 1 construction is done, at a future date, likely 2027, the district will be completing phase 2 construction. So that here, if you see in the upper image, the cyan line going around the east, north, and west portions of the perimeter berm, those are the areas that are going to be covered during phase 2 construction. This is different than phase 1. It's not installation of a vinyl sheet pile flood wall. Instead, it's just placement of fill material, basically topsoil and wood chip mixture to achieve that crest elevation raise. So scope wise, it's limited tree clearing to make sure that we can get the fill placed where we need it to. Installation of a geotextile over the top of the existing surface. Placement of that fill material up to about 2 feet at a maximum in this perimeter berm, and then revegetate that disturbed surface. And plan is to complete summer of 2027 with approval for funding. This image may be a little bit difficult to see, this cross section here, but this is just trying to convey how this placement will look like if you were to take a cut through the berm, going from right side of the berm to the left side of the berm, just showing where you're going to have placement of geotextile over the existing surface, placement of the soil fill above that. The right side there is Nine Springs Creek for reference. The left side would be into the berm interior. And we do have the erosion control features, the erosion logs or straw wattles in place here in this image too. Probably a little bit tough to see all the details, but that's what's being conveyed in this image here. So kind of looking ahead and being able to get updates on construction plans and plans for this work. As we talked before, this year or this summer will be phase 1 construction. Next summer, the plan is for phase 2 construction, and updates regarding project schedule will be posted on the district's website. And you can use this QR code in the bottom right corner to sign up for project updates via email or visit the district's website here, also shown kind of bottom middle.
I do want to highlight that this will be the last public information meeting for the Lagoon projects. So when phase 2 construction is to commence in 2027, we will do information updates on the website to provide that schedule and then move forward with that project. So to stay up to date on this project and any changes, please sign up for email updates through the website. And at this point, Arlen and I will take any questions. McCall or Amy, is there any questions
No
from the audience?
questions in the chat.
Okay. If there's no questions, I always like asking twice. All right. Well, at that point, if there are any questions, anyone can email me regarding the project or call the district's main number, which is on the website. And thank you for listening and anyone attending in the audience. Otherwise, have a good evening.